It's been a minute. It's been a while. It feels like forever. It feels like I haven't been here forever. But I miss being here. I miss teachings from this seat. I miss teachings from this very place, especially dealing with living Christianity and everything that we have to know, especially those of our brothers and sisters who are still stuck in Christianity. I love to do this because I was once there. I was once not just there by a Christian pastor, and opening up to the truth and being shown what truth is, and the revelations that the powers that be keep unfolding on our footsteps. It's just insanely amazing, and you cannot contain such intelligence and decide to keep it to yourself. I believe so much so that if it's about keeping it to yourself, then you will never be given such power and such understanding and such intelligence. So I get excited every time I get opportunity to be here and listen. One thing I want to say is that you owe it to yourself to have an open mind. I'm telling you, listen, you owe it to, you don't owe it to anybody, you owe it to yourself to have an open mind. Having an open mind, just bringing yourself to a place where you want to hear what the narrative is and what the narrative is not, because majority of people follow the narrative. So just open up yourself to know what the narrative is and to hear what the alternative is saying, and be your own judge. That is the beauty. That's the beauty of being a human being. To be your own judge, to be the one that decides what is good for you. I think we passed that age where people kept deciding for others what is good for them. The seed of the Creator is in every single one of us. The seed of the Creator, the real you. You are the seed of the Creator. You are life. So give life a chance. Let life decide what is good. You understand? When you are able to bring yourself to this place, freedom is the first thing you begin to feel. To know that you are not bound by any constraints is an amazing feeling. It's just something else. And that's my encouragement to everybody out there, that listen, be your own decider. Be in a place where you can be able to decide what is the right thing to do. If you can bring yourself to this place, then there's absolutely nothing that can be hidden from you. There's absolutely nothing that would be withheld from you. Every single thing would yield to you if you're able to bring yourself to this place. And this is the community that you've chosen to join. This is the family that you've chosen to be a part of. A family that is not just taking everything in as the narrative is saying, but allowing yourself to come to this place where intelligence is served you. This is where we all have to be. Akwaba. Welcome to the Melanated Truth. My name is Kojo Bento. I get excited every time I get opportunity to come your way. Listen, I miss you guys. I really do. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody that have decided to trust this community, to trust this family, and to actually be a part of this family. Listen, this is the best thing that is happening yet. And I'm excited that I got chosen as a vessel to be a part of this amazing family, and you are welcome. Please, if this is your first time watching this video, make sure you hit the subscription button. Make sure you do that. please, there's a link in the description. Make sure you hit on that link. That link will bring you straight into our community. Quick one, when you come into our community, an admin member would contact you and take you to a very, very tiny vetting process to let us know that indeed you are in the right place, and you yourself know that you are in the right place. So please don't be offended by the questions that will be thrown at you by the admin. It's all love, it's all good. But listen, you're welcome to this family. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that every time we upload a new video, you'll be the first to get it. Also, I want to say a big thank you to you. Yes, you that is watching today. You decided to take time out of your busy schedule to watch this day's film or video or information that I have to give. Today's going to be an interesting one, and like I said in the intro, I need you to have an open mind, and I need you to really give yourself the chance to hear from the alternative, not the narrative that everybody is being told to. And we have, listen, an amazing thing is that we have our first ebook out there, and the link is in the description as well. Please hit on it. It teaches you how to erect your altar, how to set up your altar, and every single home needs an altar. Just as every single house needs a mobile device to be able to communicate, it's the same way every single house needs an altar to be able to communicate into the dimensions. Please make sure you check it out. Welcome to this community. This is an amazing community, and I'm glad that you chose to be a part of this wonderful community. Today I want to tackle the subject light and darkness. Light and darkness. And this is a subject that growing up, everybody knew where everybody was standing. Everybody was on the side of light because every single one of us were told that darkness is evil and darkness is out to get you. And if indeed you even associated yourself with anything darkness, you are definitely a child of the devil, or Satan, or Lucifer, whichever name you choose to call him. So anything that had any relation to any dark shade or dark things, they looked at this like not good. And anything that had a brightness to it, they looked at those ones, these are the good ones. So whenever anybody puts up a shirt and has a lot of dark shades, and they look at you like, why are you wearing that dark color? That is a very bad color. It will attract negativity to you. So for the longest time, we've attributed darkness to that which is negative and evil and wrong and for the devil. And we've attributed that which is light to be godly, righteous, godlike. See, we brought the distinction between these two powerful entities as though one was opposing the other. So from the onset, these two were enemies, and these two has been in contention since. And light would never be able to be overshadowed by darkness. Light would always rule, and darkness would always be the defeated one. The very thought of light and darkness being in opposition is one of the most ridiculous, and don't listen, we have said a lot of ridiculous things as human beings, but this is one of the most ridiculous ones to be ever said by any human being. And I'm very sure without a doubt that in my Christian days I used to think and say and sing to that tune as well. But it's actually very ridiculous, and it's something that nobody should associate with, because the very thought of it, light and darkness. Light is supposed to be an enemy to darkness, and darkness is supposed to be an enemy to light. When you actually think about it, from the foundations of creation itself, what literally people are trying to make you understand, this enmity between light and darkness predates every human existence. Take your time and listen. For you to associate darkness with evil, it means that whenever darkness has been in presence, evil has been there. So even before the Creator thought to create anything, evil took precedence of light, of truth, of righteousness. Because darkness existed way before any thought of light in any creation account. So therefore, darkness is not necessarily, according to the distinctions that people make, not necessarily a product of the devil, but the devil is actually a product of darkness, since darkness has always been in existence. Unless you come from this place where you begin to understand that, wait, no. I'm not saying darkness is evil. I'm just saying the devil is darkness. It doesn't even make sense. You understand what I'm saying? Because darkness has always been in existence. Predate every single thing that has ever been created. And I'm going to explain this to you in a minute. So the very concept of darkness being in opposition to light makes it look like darkness is coming from a different place and light is coming from a different place. And darkness was created by a different entity, a different being, somebody else aside the Creator. And light was created by the Creator to overrule, to overshadow, to rule over darkness. So who created darkness then? Where did darkness come from? So if evil has always been in existence, and if evil predates righteousness, dark predates light, then how did man sin? If that which is first is the evil and that which is second is the good, then how did you know that that which came out of the first is actually what is good? Because nothing can be in existence if it does not go through the process of darkness. I'll come back to that too. But I want to ask a simple question. Can I ask a simple question? Can you name me one thing that can be everywhere at the same time? One thing. One thing in existence, one thing in creation that can be everywhere at the same time. Can anybody give me 2 seconds? Think about it. Give me answers. Just one thing. I'm sure by now somebody is saying air is not everywhere. Air is not everywhere. Breath is not everywhere. Life is not everywhere. Nature. What is nature? Nature is not everywhere. Space. Stars. It's not everywhere. So I'm waiting to see who would come up with any answer. What can be everywhere at the same time? Is it energy? Is it life? Is it spirit? I really want to know, what do you think can be everywhere? The only thing that can be everywhere and is everywhere at the same time, the only thing is nothingness. Nothingness is the only thing that can be everywhere at the same time. Nothingness. Some emptiness. Total emptiness, nothingness. It's the only thing that can be everywhere at the same time. It is in the region of nothingness, in the domain of nothingness, that everything happens. Out of nothingness, that everything comes out, comes into reality. So it doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter which dimension you are coming from or which dimension you operate in. Nothingness is the reason why that particular dimension is in existence. Nothingness is the platform that every single thing exists. Nothing can exist in this dimension without the platform of nothingness. When you look up at night, you look up in the sky, what do you see? At night, you see the moon when it's out, you see the stars, you see all of these beautiful things up in the sky. But one thing you fail to see is the emptiness that these stars hang in. As a matter of fact, the reason why you are able to see the stars and the moon, no matter how huge or gigantic the sizes are, one thing that most people fail to actually see is that which is giving the platform for these stars to be seen. If these nothingness, because when you see the star, you're able to see the spaces between them, the nothingness between them, the realm that nothing seems to be happening. It is upon these foundations that these stars are projected. So without the foundation of nothingness, these stars will never be projected, will never be seen. The same applies to the entire cosmic. Every single being, every single entity, every single thing that exists in the entire cosmic exists on the foundations of nothingness, emptiness. So think about it. The huge sun is existing on something. Something is giving the sun the platform to exist. This something is the domain of nothingness, where nothing seems to be happening. So when I look at this, when I tell you to look at the stars and look at the sky, and I say, do you see what and nothing is showing, what would you see? What would you say? You say that I can't see nothing. There's nothing show. So nothingness is actually everywhere. It's beautiful. It's actually everywhere. The entire galaxy is just a little happening. Just a tiny happening in this nothingness, in this emptiness. The entire galaxy. So in our time, modern science has finally come to a conclusion where they understand that every single thing that is happening is coming out of nothing. So everything, modern science, everything comes out of nothing, becomes something, and is going back into nothing. So there's not a single thing that exists on the face of the earth that is not coming out of something. I want to show you, because until you get rid of this preposterous idea that darkness can never be an enemy to light or light be an enemy to darkness, you would always see everything that is happening around you through the spectrum of some people, through the narratives of some people who feel they are in a capacity to tell you what it is that you have to obey or walk on, because you don't have a brain on your own. You cannot fathom what is. But science is saying every single thing that is coming out is coming out of nothing. So basically, after billions of dollars worth of research gone in, science have come to the place where they agree to what our fathers knew from ancient times, that nothing exists without it coming out of darkness. billions of dollars in research just to come to this conclusion. Our fathers knew this conclusion. Our fathers operated by the values of this conclusion. Science have to spend billions just to come to this same place. That every single thing comes out of nothing. What we refer to as creation today is just a brief happening, a tiny happening, maybe a few hundreds of years in the vastness of nothingness. So if creation is lasting hundreds of millions of years, then nothingness can be considered infinity, because the entire creation is just a tiny happening out of nothingness. So if the entire nation is happening out of, entire creation, is happening out of nothingness, then it means that your little continent is just a little happening in the little creation that is happening. And if your little continent is just a tiny speck of the tiny creation that is happening in the vast nothingness, then it means your little country, what is designed, what is cut into as your country, is just a tiny bit of the entire continent, which is a tiny bit of the entire creation, which is a tiny bit in the entire vastness of nothingness. So if your nation is just a tiny speck, then you are just a tiny happening in the tiny nation, which is in a tiny continent, which is in a tiny planet, which is in a tiny creation, which is happening in nothingness. So when one begins to say that, oh, I have achieved so much in life, I feel I'm sitting on top of the world, I've conquered it all, I've done it all. All that you are saying is that in this little happening of the entire creation, which the earth is just a little happening of the entire creation, which your continent is just a little happening of the earth, which your nation is just a little happening of the continent, and if you are just a little happening of your nation, and you feel you've achieved so much and you are sitting on top of the world, then how tiny is that top that you are sitting on? So you begin to understand that you are just a microscopic entity in the vastness of nothingness. Because like I said earlier, every single thing is happening on nothingness. When you take the cosmic out, nothingness remains. When you take the earth out, what is in its place? Nothingness. The earth came into being into a nothing place. Nothingness. So one day you popped up, poof, into this dimension, out of nothingness. Don't forget, you are coming out of nothingness. When your parent decided to come, there was nothing there. So one day you showed up out of nothingness. You exist here. The next minute you are gone. The next day you are gone. You show up, you are gone. The same as the entire earth showed up. The entire planet showed up. The next day is gone. Because everything that is coming out of nothingness into something is going back into nothingness. Everything that came is going. Everything that is going is coming. Going to nothingness, coming out of nothingness. So the only thing that remains constant in an entire multi-dimensional universe is nothingness. That's the only thing that remains constant. That is the only thing that is not changing. That's the only thing that is everywhere. Throughout the multiplicity of the diverse universal particles, nothingness is the only thing that remains constant. It's the only thing that is always present. And it's the only thing that is not going anywhere. But out of nothingness produces everything that is called something. So everything that came into being is coming out of this very thing that nobody is paying attention to. A majority of people don't even know that it's the glue that holds everything together. Nothingness. So basically, everything comes out of nothing. Basically, this nothing is the power to create something. This nothing is that which creates, produces, manifests something. This nothing is what our fathers called Obadia. Obo idea, which literally translates Obo in our local dialect literally means create. Idea means something. So Obo idea, that which creates out of nothing and makes something come out of nothing. So our fathers call this nothingness Obadia, which literally means creator. So what does Obadia means? Obadia means that which is beyond something. Obo idea. So for it to be able to create something, it means that this thing exists beyond something. It goes into nothingness. It means it goes beyond something, that beyond the thing that he creates. There's nothing that is existent beyond him. So our fathers knew this intelligence and said that this is Obadia, this is the one that creates something out of nothing. Simply means creator, Obadia, beyond nothing, beyond something, which is nothing. Anything that goes beyond something is nothing. Nothing, creator. One that brings into, out of nothing. Creator, Obadia. Our fathers knew this intelligence, and I've always called this intelligence Obadia. Nothing. Out of nothing, he creates. Out of nothing, he gave. Out of nothing, he brought something. So that which is creation. That which is not is nothingness. Nothingness is that which creates. So nothingness is our creator, Obadia. This is the intelligence that our fathers were exposed to. This is the intelligence that our fathers had. This is the ultimate science. When I say it's the ultimate science, it means that science have not even begun to fathom the equalities and the possibilities and the potencies of this phenomenon. Nothing. Which is what quantum fixes today. Obadia. This is the intelligence that our fathers operated with. So because everything has to come from nothing, and nothing is simply our creator Obadia, it simply means Obadia is that which is everywhere at the same time, and it's nothing at the same time, and it's completely silent, and it's completely empty, and it's completely quiet, and it's completely, wait for it, you know it, you know the word I'm going for, darkness. Because out of darkness, everything came. This is the intelligence that human beings couldn't fathom. They couldn't comprehend it. They still can't comprehend it. Beyond darkness is nothing. So darkness is nothing. Nothing is the only ability that can be everywhere at the same time. Our Creator, Obadiah, is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. Nothing. So this thing that we so deem horrifying and so afraid of is nothing. Nothing is darkness. Darkness is that which creates everything. Every single thing is coming out of darkness. Darkness is our Creator. Our Creator operates from a place that nobody has met. Nobody can see. Nobody can know. That is how come nobody has seen. Oh, this is sweet. So now, come back to the top. How can light fight darkness if darkness created light? You see the deception. Since in the beginning he created heaven and earth. Out of what? Out of nothing he created the heavens and the earth. And when he came to earth, when earth was nothing, darkness was upon it. Oh, are you getting it? Before he decides to manifest anything, nothing has to be the only thing that exists. Himself. He. Until he gives light, there cannot be light. The light that he gives is only showing a portion of himself that he wants the world to see, that he wants the world to know. That is why, am I saying too much? So whenever light is thrown onto something, he's only reflecting a side of himself that he wants the world to know. The vastness of his being. That is why you cannot comprehend. How do you calculate the foundations at the beginning of nothing? How do you accumulate the density of nothing? So our fathers called him Obadiah. Obadiah. Nothing. Creates all. Gives all. Sustains all. In this nothingness, he gave light. That is why light can never be everywhere at the same time. The day light becomes everywhere or occupies everything at the same time will be the day that the Creator himself is found out. With literally, what I'm literally saying is that day would never come. It's not a single day that would ever happen. The light had overshadowed. It's a lie. You have been fed lies for a long time. Darkness can never overshadow. Light, can never overshadow darkness. Can never comprehend it. Because out of nothingness, everything came. Listen, I'll continue next week. I'll make sure I'll continue next week. It's a huge subject. And I need to keep breaking it down. If you've gotten it so far, hey, great. If you haven't, I'll keep breaking it down. Have a great evening. I love you guys. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this amazing family, make sure you do. Click in the description. Join into the community. An admin will contact you. We'll take it up from there. To build an altar, to communicate into the vastness of nothingness, make sure you have an altar. And the book is right there in the description. Have a great evening, guys. I love you. Mwah.